All right, everyone, welcome to this weekend sidereal forecast for July 17th through the 19th. My name is Athen. So we've got the moon shifting into Leo this weekend, right on Friday, actually, about midday for most of us. And that's shifting from a lot of this Cancerian energy, but also this Gemini new moon. It's starting to progress here from this new beginnings of the communication side of things, you know, that playful energy of Gemini and wanting to learn, really just wanting to treat life as a learning process. And so all of this is starting to unfold now in this Crescent phase, especially next week. We'll be able to put those intentions forward more and more. But this does look like a pretty nice weekend, actually, for all that playful, creative, fun, romantic kind of energy, which is, of course, the moon in Leo. But that's emphasized by the fact that Venus has already been there and Jupiter recently went in here. So there's this expansion about these things. The moon's going to go over that, activating that. Venus is here. This is relationships. This is our values, things like that. And that's going to be activated, especially on Saturday. So let's go and look at the transits. As you can see here on Friday, there's no major aspects going exact, but the way I would read this is there's certainly that easing down energy from a lot of this astrological stuff going on in the in the astrology during that new moon. So one was this Venus squaring up to Saturn. So I think the things relating to our enjoyments and things and relationships and stuff will kind of come through to some sort of maturity, because usually after a Saturn transit like this, we level up into some new level of just maturity with those types of things. So I think feeling that on Friday and still enjoying those things nonetheless. And then Mercury conjuncting up to Mars will be receding as well. So with that being said, there is that less of that very direct, very assertive energy of the mind, which can sometimes be, quite erratic when Mars is in his debilitated sign of Gemini here, sandwiched between, Mercury and the Sun, which was the case. So I think that energy will start to ease up a little bit, but still, because of the new moon energy, any intentions we do set to learn, to share, to exchange, to socialize, I think it's going to be a good weekend for those things. Now, that being said, one thing also is that the Sun is going to be shifting into Cancer. We'll probably feel that on Friday as well. So our intentions will be certainly centered around the things relating to home, family, our sentiments, our emotional body, things of that nature. And what's interesting about this configuration is that the moon, who rules Cancer, is in Leo, and the Sun, who rules Leo, is in Cancer. So there's a swapping of energy with the masculine, feminine aspects of self here, where I think our intentions and our focus can certainly be of that emotional nature. And it's a great weekend for anything that involves expressing ourselves either with family or about our sentiments or about our feelings and things like that, and vice versa. Really doing those expressive or creative things can be very emotionally fulfilling, perhaps even at home and things like that. So it's a nice blend of this Cancer-Leo energy, and we'll feel that shift on Friday. Then on Saturday, we've got a couple aspects. One is, of course, that Moon conjuncting up to Jupiter and Venus, so that'll be activating a lot of that Leo energy here on Saturday. But there is, some things to be aware of here. The Moon is going to be squaring up to Saturn, first of all. So it could be a day of discipline. At least that's a good idea with the square energy, wanting to, again, step into that maturity that we've recently sort of leveled up from, if you will, with that Venus squaring up to Saturn. And taking care of any hard work or anything on that regards. And really, when it comes to our self-expression and fun, which is the moon in Leo, taking that, in that mature approach, to where we're having fun, but we're staying grounded, that kind of thing. I think that'll be important on Saturday. And then just in the morning, won't be feeling this too much, but the moon will be trending up to Uranus. So in the morning, I think a good time to mix things up. I think that can flow. But it is a good weekend for mixing things up. Saturday and Sunday, Mercury will be squaring up to Uranus. So this is where we can be very stimulated mentally. And so it's very important that we're very flexible, because this is a kind of energy, especially with Uranus and Pisces, that any new intuition or any new things that kind of come up and change, to be willing to adapt and move with that. Because the more rigid we are, the more it can feel uncomfortable and a little revolutionary, which can sometimes be the case, wanting to break free from that. So it's important to want to, flow and just kind of live that serendipitous kind of energy of Uranus and Pisces, which has been the case, but now squaring up to Mercury, especially involving our routine, the day-to-day stuff, anything about correspondence, anything that you do over the weekend relating to correspondence or communications. If you do want to kind of recheck this stuff maybe on Monday to make sure everything was done, because it's a sharp energy, and there is certainly that quick thinking and active, very good aptitude to do those things, but at the same time, it can sometimes, if we rush too fast, can be prone to speaking out of turn, making mistakes with either the communications or correspondence. So just a heads up with that, but I think with conscious attention here over the weekend, just bringing that to our communications and being willing to adapt and change and being willing to go with the flow with those things will be important. So that's Friday and Saturday. And then also as we go into that'll be Saturday and Sunday. And then as we go into Sunday, Mercury will be trining up to Chiron. So there is this easiness of the mind. Chiron is in Pisces as well. So it's a rejuvenating sort of feeling and a healing energy when it comes to the communication and exchanges and things of that nature, which is, of course, all this energy in Gemini right now at the moment. So again, emphasizing that flow energy and trust and just, allowing things to be as they are will be important, but having fun nonetheless with the moon in Leo. Then in the evening time for most of us here, the moon will be opposing up to Neptune, who's in Aquarius. So there's this very freeing energy actually about the weekend, which will be important at this time to balance a lot of the self-oriented energy of Leo and to make sure that we are, again, taking it easy, and with the Neptune energy, it's really about compassion, being other-oriented in Aquarius. So if there's a lot of attention on self here, which it can be the case, which is a good thing if it's done in that balanced way, of course, just remembering that there is things larger than self and to trust and have faith, all that sort of Neptunian energy. So the big key over the weekend is going to be the moon in Leo, which is about playfulness, fun, expressive energy, creativity, romance, perhaps with Venus there. And certainly be activated. I think on Saturday it'll be important to stay grounded with that, with the moon squaring up to Saturn, and then stay grounded with our thoughts and correspondence and things like that with the Mercury squaring up to Uranus. And then on Sunday it looks like a pretty tranquil energy actually, or at least can be. So I'd really recommend anything about rest, relaxation, things like that. I think that can be very healing and also very balancing as well with a lot of this Leo energy. So have a nice weekend, everyone. I want to thank you all again very much. I've been getting a lot of positive support, so thank you for that. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I'll talk to you all on Monday. Take care.